Hello, neighbors. Welcome to another episode of Ponderosa Garden Adventures. My name is Mark, and I'm out here in our mini rose garden, what we also call Charlemagne. And I'm going to be showing you some rose maintenance techniques that we use. But first, let me tell you about this garden. We began this garden with this beautiful fountain here, and we planted these roses all the way around it. We call them mini roses because each one of these roses began as a little gift rose that you get, say, like Valentine's Day and Mother's Day. So after each of those holidays, we go to stores and we look for discount prices on those little mini roses, or even the ones we've been gifted, and we repot them and then we plant them in the ground. And we don't get 100% success, but at least half of them eventually take root and start growing. And as you can see, they don't stay small. They will actually grow as tall as you want. They will get 5 or 6 feet tall. They will get up to 2 meters tall. These are roses we planted probably 3 or 4 years ago. So you can see they do grow about a foot a year. So eventually they'll be full size. But they also crank out so many roses, so many blossoms. As you can see, this one plant had all these blossoms. But I'll show you, they're starting to get old, so we need to deadhead. I need to treat the some diseases we got going on here. We got some weeds and stuff going on, so I'll show you all that. Anyway, this is my garden 20 for the day. Might take a little more than 20 minutes, but let me just bring you in close and show you a close-up of what I'm going to be doing here. So I'll begin with this nice red one. As you can see, the edges of these roses are turning brown, so it needs to be deadheaded. What that means, I'm going to be cutting each one of these off right here, somewhere probably close to a leaf like that. And what that does is it actually spurs some more growth. Let me show you what I mean. Here is a rose that we deadheaded a couple weeks ago, and you see wherever you deadheaded it sends up a new little branch, and so in a few weeks we'll have new blossoms on it. This one was deadheaded, but it's not a new branch. We should have probably cut it down to about here. Over here is the plant we deadheaded a little less recently ago, and now you can see it's grown up quite a bit, and we will soon have blossoms. We already have some little buds going on that one. So that's the idea. The more you cut, the more blossoms you get. So here's what I'm using. I've got a pair of Fiskars clippers that I use. These are my favorite for clipping these and throwing the other stuff around, and a trowel for getting any weeds that I find, and a dandelion weed I just dropped. And of course, we always have to have something to throw the deadheaded roses in. So let's get started. Roses. All right, let's start deadheading. Again, I'm gonna cut all these that have brown edges, but you'll see there's some fresh ones here, some new ones. I'm going to leave these behind, so we'll leave a few blossoms on here. We'll just get these ones that are dying out. Now also, I want to show you, look carefully, you see a little bit of white powder around here. This is called powdery mildew, so that's one of the things that will affect a rose that you got to take care of. You can see where I cut it right here. There was a little tiny branch coming up. So I'm looking for some place to cut right there where that will replace the one that I just cut. That little branch there will replace the part that I just cut there. All right, so you gotta look for that, and that's the best place to cut it. Now, I like to wear these gloves here. These gloves are super long sleeves so that you avoid getting scratched by the thorns on a rose bush, but Admittedly, they're quite expensive, but I will tell you they are totally worth it. So definitely consider getting a pair of long sleeve gardening gloves if you work with roses a lot. Branch, you'll see some brown and yellow stains. That is a disease called rust. It's a fungal disease, and the way we treat that is the way we treat any of the other diseases, the powdery mildew, black mold and stuff. All that's dealt with neem oil. So I'll spray this with neem oil, but in the meantime I have to try and pull off anything that's heavily diseased like this and throw it away. And you just pull downward and pull off any diseased leaves and throw them away. Don't leave them on the ground or it will spread to the other plants. Also, almost every leaf on this plant has it, so I'm not going to pull them all off. Don't ever pull all the leaves off of a plant. It needs the leaves to photosynthesize, but get as many of the really badly diseased ones as I can. This is a beautiful example. Look at this. So see right here, this is what the actual fungus looks like. It's this orange fungus, and that's called rust. And you'll see it on the top of the leaves as it works its way through. So we gotta pull all those off if we can to get rid of that stuff. And then we're gonna spray it with neem oil, which is an organic pesticide herbicide. We'll talk more about that later. The next thing I'm going to do is spray it with neem oil. Now, neem oil is oil from the neem tree, obviously, hence the name, and it's an all-purpose fungicide, herbicide, insecticide. It's really good for roses because it handles most of the kinds of pests that affect roses. Aphids, rust, black mold, powdery mildew. This takes care of all of that. We have other alternatives. There's a copper spray, and we find this tends to work better for fruit trees, and roses respond better to the neem oil. There's just one caveat though. It is highly toxic, so you gotta try to avoid getting it on your skin and breathing it. And also it's toxic to bees. So that's why I'm doing it today on this overcast day. There's no pollinator activity going on right now, so this is a good time to spray it. And it's going to stay overcast for a little while till it dries off. You just want to give it like a few minutes to dry off when there's no bees or pollinators flying around. And you have to spray the whole plant. So I turn it on. And normally, actually, I'm going to put on another set of gloves. I'll be right back. I prefer to use these disposable gloves when I'm using neem oil. You really don't want to get on your skin, your clothes, inhale it or anything. And we really got to drench the plant. We got to get both sides of the leaves to get that stuff off. So just going to turn it on now and turn it to the spray there. Yeah, and just get the whole plant. Make sure you're like upwind of it. Underside of the leaves too. Now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to feed the rose bush. I'm going to give it a little fertilizer. And once again, we are not sponsored by any of the companies that make these products. We literally just buy whatever is available at our local nursery. And we tend to lean towards organic when we can. This one doesn't really say it's organic. But the NPK, if you're familiar with NPK ratings, this is 9, 12, 9. is what we're giving to the roses. And what I like about this product is that it comes in these little spikes, all right, and it's just a spike of just mostly, or I think mostly organic. So I'm going to take that back. So yeah, this is just pure fertilizer. It's not really organic, but it comes in these nice pellets that you just bury, and it makes it really easy. So let me show you how I use one of these. So I'm going to take this little stake here. Actually, I'm going to break it in two and divide it between these two, the white one and the red one. I'll just show you how I do the red one. I'm going to just clear out a little space here at the bottom of the rose, the base in the dirt here. And just pick a spot with the irrigation, just dig down, dig a little hole down there, and just really shove it in there. All right, so just really stick it in there, down at the base, not too close to the roots, sort of right at the edge of where the leaves are, where the branches are. Right there is a good spot right there. And then cover it up, and as it gets watered, that will dissolve and it will feed the plant very quickly. It's very effective, and as you can see, it's really fast. The main thing is it's so convenient. Well, neighbors, that's it for today. I'm going to do the rest of this rose garden today, but you probably don't want to watch me do the whole thing. This is basically the basic care we do for our roses, and really just about once a month. You know, I just want to say roses are my all-time favorite flower to grow in the garden. Way back when my father and I planted a rose garden when I was a teenager, and I just got really hooked because I found out you just give them a little water, a little food, a little TLC, and lots of sunshine, and they are really going to produce for you. So not really a low maintenance plant, but really one of the lower maintenance, and if you treat them right, they will really reward you. So thanks for watching this episode, Ponderosa Garden Adventures. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. We'll see you next time.